Good afternoon. Nice to finally see you, Alison. First of all, congratulations on reaching the sustainability event standards with your organization. Um, Before we jump in, could you tell me a little bit more about your organization and the reason why you chose to certify the standards?
Yes, definitely, Brecht. Thank you. So happy to be here. I'm a real fan of sustainability and events. We've been doing this for so many years. And we're so happy that EIC opened, all the tools and this webpage, incredible, great, with all documents that we need and we require to certify an event. And that will be my first answer. Our objective was not just to get certified, our first event in Latin America on the EIC standards, but learn in the process of, right? So we were not sure if we were going to make it, not even bronze, because it was very, very tough. We went, to all the questionnaires and we said, okay, we will have this 15 points, this 20 points, this 13 points. On this, we have 0 points. And, there was no way for us to get just 1 point, right? This in the beginning of the Guatemala certification event in 2022,
Mhm.
and then in Paraguay, 2024. So it was a different case, but I might say that the main objective on both certificate events was to get through the process, to learn through the process, to include all the vendors and all the industry actors,
Mhm.
to learn and to get a legacy in that destination for the next events. Because either if we were not going to get the certification of the events,
Mhm.
our main objective as company or as organization or event, it was to provide this opportunity to learn to the destinations to
And to
go.
improve as you go in the process.
Excuse me?
And to improve as you move in the
Definitely,
process.
definitely. What we did learn in for the Guatemalan version, we did great in Paraguay, but the EIC standards changed a little bit. So that was tricky. We had to learn a few more things, but our team was, ready. Here in our office, in-house, it's Leslie. She takes care of sustainability things, and she got like, oh, but we did not this do in Guatemala, but now we have to do it in Paraguay, and
Yeah.
it was a great case to redoing it and to include all the suppliers, because we have huge suppliers as the owner of the venue, the hotel, but we
Mhm.
have small suppliers, we have
Course.
graphic arts, we have a lot of talented people that work for the event that even got into the sustainability,
Right.
far away from what they do every single day. So that was great.
Nice. Well, in the name of the Sustainability Council, I really want to congratulate you and your organization. Because, of course, with this story, we all want to also inspire other organizations to follow the same path that you have walked. So, to foster this, can you mention some of the highlights that you experienced in this journey from back in 2022 or the moment you decided to get the certification to now? What would be something that you will remember and something you want to share perhaps with others that want to start the journey?
I would say that if I would have to do it again on both events, I would start on the communication strategy and plan,
Okay.
because there's a lot of things that you can do from there, right? So we got it, we have our index. We knew that communication and marketing was very important in all the process of the certification, but we did not know how strong that tool is. Because when we started in Paraguay, learning from Guatemala,
Mhm.
to tell everybody, we want to certificate this event, the venue said, oh, okay, what am I supposed to do? The vendors said, okay, how am I going to do that? How can I add value to that certification, right? Because it's not just the planner, but all the process, and all the vendors.
Mhm.
And a lot of companies did not ever being in a certification program or system. So it was the first time for everybody in Paraguay to do this. And we started from the beginning. In Guatemala, we did not. And that's something we learned. And I want to share with you all. You have to start from the beginning in the communication process. It's very important, you know, that all the vendors knows that this is going to be a certificate event, or that's our goal, and that they have to work harder. They need to become a partner, you know, in the 6 months, 1 year, or 1.5 years of the organizing process of the event.
Yeah.
And after that process in the beginning, you need to start bringing, you know, all the attendees and all the stakeholders. So
And they
you
also need to know about this. They also need to have this communication.
Exactly. So we're going to have a sustainable event. Would you like to buy some of the, you know, in Guatemala, it was a water project. Would you like to buy, you know, like $50, and you bring a responsibility community program that we were doing because of the mitigation of CO2. And you know, and people then, they understand and they help and they buy. Not everybody, but they know that they're in an event that is sustainable. They know that they have to reuse their bottle. They know that if you don't want your bed to be doing, you know, 4 days, just 2 days, if you're going to stay there 5 nights, they can ask the hotel just to do 2 nights, you know? And all of this was great because in Paraguay, we made this change in our communication program that we did not have in Guatemala in the beginning, to include all the stakeholders, you know, not at the same time, but with the same responsibility, that it was our event, it was our sustainable event, you know, not just Organizacion or FELABAN, but everybody, you know, all the attendees were part of all of this.
To instill a sense of pride for anyone involved, I guess.
Definitely. I mean, when we got the award and we said that we got the bronze, you know, because even if it's a bronze, we're very proud and we're very happy. And we're looking forward for silver and gold. I hope so, one of these years. Yes, definitely. But, you know, we send our press release and say, thank you, because of you, you know, all the stakeholders, the vendors, our board, everybody, it was certified as a sustainable event.
Right.
And yeah, people get proud. People retweet it. People resend it on LinkedIn. People on Facebook were reposting saying, oh, great news. Thank you. And, you know, maybe not so many people, even in the United States, goes to certified events in sustainability. So we will be proud.
Absolutely. And you should be proud. And I think, of course, the main benefit is, of course, our Mother Earth, the planet that benefits from sustainable events. But what benefits would you say arose for your partners specifically, or even people partaking in the conference? Can you be specific what kind of benefits they got? I think for you, it's, as you mentioned, the social media and the LinkedIn and the attention you got through it, but mainly for others attending the event or working on the event. What would you say was a benefit for them?
Well, I think that working on the event, all the stakeholders, we can say that definitely Mother Earth will be the most important person or thing, or I don't know how to say it, for sustainability, because we did the mitigation of the CO2. And that is something that not a lot of companies or events are doing, you know? So to finish your event and say, okay, our mitigation percentage was this and that. And through that, the mitigation of CO2, we had to go a real example of who was very, very beneficiary of this, is that Guatemala is one of the most countries with this nutrition, okay? And we have a lot of cities where we don't have a lot of potable water, okay? Drinkable water. And through this event, we had to give 256 communities, you know, this system of potable water. I mean, this means that this change, it was for mothers, for parents, for kids that will not have to go to a river, you know, half kilometer or so just to get water to drink. But now they can bring it there. They put it in this thing that is called ecofiltro, and they have potable water.
Wow.
And
I mean, that's...
I'm even excited telling you, because this is the kind of changes and things that you can do through sustainability.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
that's why we believe that we all need to do it. You know, you don't have to give 256. My event was very big. It was 1,500 people, you know, of all around the world, and it's the banking industry. But it doesn't have to be 256. You can give 10, or you can give 5. You can go to the school and bring, you know, all the pens, all the bags, and you know, bottled water, and a lot of things that you can do. I mean, EIC, PCMA, ICA has a lot of programs within their events that they really make a change. And when I tell this story, people say, oh, wow. And I say, yes. And, you know, everything just because my board believed that we were responsible and we had to become a certified event because there was a lot of CO2 through our event.
Yeah. Well, I love that example of providing potable water to all these communities. To me, that is real impact and, you know, constant impact. It's lasting. It's really a legacy. And this really shows the power not only of our meetings industry, but specifically also this program, Sustainable Event Standards. So thank you for this example. When you talk about mitigation of CO2, what other examples do you have on how to reach that?
We have also trees. It depends on the country. In Guatemala, we just had trees, you know, reforestation or water. We decided water because we thought it was more impact. And in Paraguay, it was about composting, you know. So we did a project with composting. We did not go through all the mitigation of the CO2 as in Guatemala, but all the venue, you know, all the materials were to a farm of compost. And that was a good thing in a community in Paraguay, in Asunción, and everybody worked together. You knew as exhibitor that you had to bring stuff, you know, that could be recycled, reused, and that you could not bring it from other country. We prefer for you to buy it in Asunción or Paraguay, you know, to help all the community. And I think that was a big impact. I don't have right now the amount of pounds that we did on compost and recycling, but it was amazing number. All the material was compost.
And for you, Alisson, and for your organization, those implementations are permanent? Are these considered permanent for all your future meetings you're organizing, or how do you see this?
It depends on our client, you know, because FELABAN is one of our clients. We have many clients, and it will depend on every board. On every board, we have a different proposal. We have a huge event of 3,000 people in 2026. We are looking for the certification. We want it, and we want a silver one. We still have some time.
Good.
But for that one, I think that we will do different projects on the mitigation of CO2, starting out the flights, because they come from all over the world.
Yes, yes.
So I think that a huge program of the mitigation of CO2, specifically to that event, it's called OBUM 2026 of agriculture. We have a different program, and we'll do something different, but definitely we want an impact, a legacy impact on sustainability.
Well, you have my personal support for this, and I hope you get the silver medal, or maybe even gold, who knows?
Hopefully. Yeah, you know, we know that there are things that we cannot change. We don't have any venue in Guatemala with a LEED certification, that brings us less points, you know, for a certified gold event.
Well, maybe this interview will inspire venues to also jump on board.
Yeah, we hope so. Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, well, just a few more questions, but you talk about convincing your clients, and of course, your clients oftentimes deal with a board of directors who ultimately have to say on whether they want to make this event truly inclusive, sustainable, impactful. How do you personally try to convince those board members on the benefits of a certification?
The first thing is, I'm doing all the job. You don't have to do anything.
Okay.
So that can
Big
be even
one.
more
Yeah.
because, you know, if you come to the board saying, okay, we as board and us, we need to do this and more work and more whatever,
Hmm.
they might think about it. But when you come and you say, we need to do this because it's good for the planet, it's good for the event, it's a good word on word, you know, mouth on mouth that we are a sustainable certified event. Um, it's easy to sell, you know, and when you said, I'm doing everything, don't even worry. I mean, we're taking care of everything. It's easy for them to say yes. And the second thing I would say that it's easy also, it's because it's not that expensive
Yeah.
and you can get sponsors. We got sponsors on both events, even in Guatemala and Paraguay. So that even made it easy because in the budget, you know, they don't look at it as an expense, but as an investment that is covered even for a sponsor.
Wow. I mean, those are
So
really good arguments. Would you say those
yeah,
are sponsorships coming from an unexpected corner, perhaps as well?
well, no, I might think that the banks that have been our sponsors for this both events that are from the banking industry,
Mhm.
they look forward for sustainability. So
Okay.
for them, it's something that you need to know whose door you need to knock,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we went to the right doors and they opened it and they even were there, you know, given the eco-filters in the community with the press and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, they become partners of this and proud of this legacy.
Proud partners and people basically realizing that the event planner does most of the work and everybody reaps the benefit, including the environment, which is a great thing, of course. I have a final question for you before I let you get back to work. But what are some tips that you would give to organizations just like yours, or even venues or DMOs who want to start this certification journey? If you had to give maybe 3 tips, what would they be?
Okay, first, get someone in charge, someone to ask, someone to answer, and someone to comply. You
Mm,
know, here at the office, we have Leslie, she's in charge. I mean, so when any stakeholder needs to know anything about sustainability, what to buy, what to present, what to offer, she might be the person, you know, to answer.
mhm.
So it has to be someone in charge to understand, to know, and most of it to get the index because it's a
Yeah.
lot of things that you need to do. So, you know, you
Yes.
need to ask for someone in charge. Second, get involved. You know, get involved everybody. Get involved the suppliers, get involved the venue, get involved the stakeholders, your board, even if they're not crazy about sustainability, you know, for the monthly meeting, you can say, okay, this month we're having these glasses or we're having these bags because of sustainability, and these people is just women that have been going out of jail and they're gonna do all our bags and you know all of those things,
Yeah.
encourage them to support you. So
Yeah.
I would say that encourage everybody, include everybody in the communication what you're doing.
Yeah.
And third, I would say be a fan. Branch, you need to be a fan. You
Yes.
need to love sustainability because if you don't, oh, you know, they're the three recycling you know, things for
Yeah.
trash.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, that's all I'm gonna do for the planet. No, you need to give away that speech. You need to give away that communities are gonna be changed. Attendees are gonna be, you know, more lawful for our event. They're gonna come more years. They're gonna support us more. They're gonna sponsor more if they know that we're doing an event that it has a purpose.
Right.
So you
No,
need to
I
be a
agree. I'm a
fan.
big believer in events with purpose and impact, and I think the sustainability event standards are really a vehicle to reach that. So, in the name of the entire community, I would like to thank you for your time,
Of course.
and I wish you all the best with the upcoming conferences.
Thank you. Thank you so much.